No, they are harassing Staunton. The blind elf looks better than he did in your last encounter. His clothes are clean and his pale face has some color. The elf turns to you and listens closely. Is that it, my savior? I recognize your footsteps. Determined footsteps, befitting a determined person. Allow me to thank you again for saving me. Please accept this humble gift as a token of my appreciation. The elf hands you a small black ring with 2 scarlet runes on it. Storyteller's ring. Iraveth has explained why you were looking for me. I warned the authorities of Kenabres that the local wardstone has been desecrated. They waved off my warnings and I paid for the interaction. I have examined many wardstones, but only in the one guarding Kenabres did I sense a flaw, a spot of corruption inside. A vulnerability the demons will surely use. They are able to spread the blight inside the wardstone, corrupt it, and make it their weapon. It frightens me to think what it will be capable of. The wardstone must be destroyed. Oh. Who exactly are you, and why did they let you examine the wardstone in the first place? The elf smiles faintly. I am the Storyteller, just an old elf, and a bit more. I am old, even for an elf. I've seen many things, and I've been to many places. Not so long ago, I witnessed the making of a young kingdom in the Stone Lands, led by a remarkable, promising individual. My advice on the complicated matter of conquering those lands proved useful to that leader. This is not uncommon for me. Some seek my advice or services, and I don't refuse. This is how I acquired my reputation as an old vagrant who's never hurt anyone, stayed out of other squabbles, but sometimes gave good advice. I had a few friends in Narosian who vouched for my integrity. This is why my humble request to be allowed to see the wardstone was granted. I visited all of them, but only found cause for alarm in Kenabres. Do you wield some kind of special magical power, or some instinct? Storyteller chuckles. Yes, to an extent. But it's more of a gift. I can see the past, stories that have happened. I touch an object and shreds of its owner's memories are revealed to my mind. Their emotions, passions, and tragedies. I see visions like I am them, and their stories happen to me. This is my power. I've been roaming the world, gathering such stories for many thousands of years. One day, I will gather them all. What blight is concealed in the wardstone here in Kenabres? I am afraid I don't have the answer to your question. To understand the nature of this blight, we need to understand how the wardstone was created. And it is hidden from me. I can only guess. Have you heard of the Red Morning Massacre? A dreadful morning remembered with fear even by those not yet born at that time. A demoness called Minago invaded the city with a crowd of her followers, and started to do what demons do best, kill and desecrate. They say they covered the wardstone with pieces of dead bodies, splashed it with blood from top to bottom. Could such an abomination darken the radiance of the gift of iomedae herself? The locals think this is impossible, but who knows? It was not the last attack. Many demon leaders brought their unholy forces here, even the terrifying Bela Koramazadar. Their attacks were rebuffed, but they still reached their target. I think this is when the seed of corruption was planted in the stone. It wouldn't have grown on its own, but Deskari himself has now come to take advantage of this weakness, to open the abscess that has been festering for years, unnoticed by the people of Kenabres. And when the demon lords struck their blow, the weakened stone gave in. Now it's in demon hands, and nothing is stopping them from spreading the blight throughout the entire stone, and from it to the other stones alongside the whole perimeter of the Worldwound. Why exactly did you travel to the wardstone? I tried to see their stories. The vision I had when I touched the wardstone were unclear. I saw hundreds, maybe thousands of different stories at the same time. They followed each other like flashes of lightning. It was impossible to separate them. I couldn't understand where one of them ended and the next began. Thank you for telling me that. In that case, you must make every possible effort to destroy the corruption. Unfortunately, I didn't know where to get an instrument powerful enough to benefit from the wardstone. As far as I know, there's nothing like it in Kenabres. But the demons, they might have something. I heard the dying roar of Tyrannoloth, the silver dragon, the protector of the city. At the same time, I felt a wave of unfamiliar power sweep over me from head to toe. I would advise you to go where Tyrannoloth perished and search there for something. I'm sorry, I can't be more specific, but intuition and a strange sense of rightness tell me to point you there. Yeah, we found something. Logan, present the purple stone knife. I found it in the square where Tyrannoloth perished. What do you make of it? The storyteller reaches out and says softly, even from here, I can feel strange energies emanating from this object. If you don't mind, I will examine it, using my method. I will try to see the past of its owner, the emotions and shreds of the memories. Maybe it will help us better understand what we are dealing with. The storyteller touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face contorts into an evil grimace, his voice disgustingly raspy. Hunger. My many legs bring me into the lair, to my mother feasting hall. Her swollen body, overfilled with food, is so huge that I have to look at it with all of my eyes at once. On top is a scrawny little head, with a long beak that is always yearning for more food. You feel feverish, and your chest, where the mysterious wound is concealed, feels hot. Your mind is flooded with a wave of visions that repeat the words of the old elf. Mother greets me with a blessed screech. Stupid, greedy wretch, whose only achievement is my birth. A grieving, mindless creature. It's your fault I have no wings. A symbol of greatness, a birthright, I should have received from my mighty father. Mother points me to a crowd of whimpering subjects, suggesting I fortify myself with a pathetic flight. Not today. I summon my spawn, and they fly to me, enveloping me in a teeming cloud. Like dark dazzling wings, they unfold behind my back and lift me up. Mother has always been stronger, but she did not expect this. I dive on her, and rip her limp, bloated body with my claws. Ichor splatters, the bone spurs on my heels sink into her flesh. I clench her pitiful tiny head and tear it off along with the shreds of meat. Victory! I am the strongest. I am the son of my winged father. Sounds like it's about Deskari. The elf grimaces with distaste, his voice becoming normal again. Appalling. Stories like that are the most difficult ones to keep with me. Did this knife belong to a demon? The storyteller opens his mouth to answer, but a sudden spasm crosses his face. A new vision, a much stronger one, engulfs the old elf. The malevolent undertones vanish from his voice as it grows more determined and tired. Even looking at the wardstone is difficult. Despite the corruption nesting in it, it still has an aura of strength. Your fingers clench the stone hilt so tight it hurts. A little spot on the flawless surface of the wardstone draws your attention. It looks like a butterfly. Corruption in the guise of something utterly harmless. But it will grow. You swing and stab the butterfly with the knife as hard as you can. Your fingers cramp painfully. A howl invades your ears. Light, white light everywhere. The old stone knife falls from the old elf's hand. Out of breath, he drops to his knees. He's trembling, the terror on his face so unlike his usual dignified manner. What was that? That was not the past. There was something that is yet to happen. Or rather, might happen. One of the roads to the future, and one of the possible futures, this item will help you climb the wardstone, or destroy it. You feel a longing to take the stone chisel and plunge it into your chest, right into the wound that has opened up in it. It is hard to resist this feeling, but the last moment your self-preservation instinct takes over, and you manage to keep control over your own hands. Ugh. The old man stands up. He looks completely stunned. Never before has anything like this happened to me. But how? I'm not an oracle or prophet. Or is there another riddle from the past that has caught up with me? I must find out. Seeking stories that have happened is one thing. Seeing stories that are yet to happen. I don't know why this is happening now. There's one thing I'm sure of. This is not a coincidence. This is a sign of coming changes. Great changes. I shared your vision and this knife, it tempted me. Did you see what I saw? This has never happened before. Could it be the magic of the object that you brought me? I sense dark energies in it that cloud and charm the mind. Be careful with this item. It may have tried to influence you, but you managed to overcome its power and subdue it. Or perhaps something else happened to us, something we don't yet understand. Can you see the future? I don't know. Obviously I can, but nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The future never opened its secrets to me before I met you. Gods, who are you and why have our paths crossed? I fear this is not a coincidence. Something momentous is happening. Destiny is pushing us towards something. But what? Questions without answers. I swear, this morning I couldn't have imagined what awaited me. Maybe it's the knight that gives you the power of divination. This knife is a powerful artifact, but I feel that its power is of a different nature. No, I felt the same as I do when I tell the past. This is my gift, but manifested in a completely abnormal way. Is what you saw destined to happen? No. The future is not set. It used to be a long time ago when the god Odin guarded Golarion. But not now. Prophecies do not come true, or they do, but not the way they were supposed to. I only saw one vision of the future, one of the path leading to it. But the choice has been made, and our destinies are not set in stone. Who exactly were you in your vision? I don't know. Someone strong and desperate enough to resort to extreme measures. I felt that what I was doing had to be done. At least with the formation of wings and being wingless, it kind of reminded me of Deskari. But that could be wrong too. I don't know. We don't get any check to do. Your powers are amazing. A few minutes ago, I would have agreed with you. But the thing that has just happened, it disturbs me. My gift has never manifested like this. Something has changed, and these changes frighten me. Please examine the items I'm carrying. Perhaps some of them could tell us a story. The storyteller nods politely. Let me touch them, and I'll tell you what I can see. The old elf carefully takes Yaniel's sword, Radiance. Powerful forces lie dormant in this sword. It used to belong to an incredible bright and daring soul. The storyteller hands carefully over the scale that has still not lost its shine. Of Terendilef. Proud Terendilef, protector of Kenabres, you devoted your life to serving people. Your death is a great loss. But maybe I will be able to find out something about you that is unknown to your many admirers. The storyteller fiddles with a fragment of gold buckle. An old thing created long ago by divine will, but the power that gave birth to it is lost in the darkness. However, the relic still lives on, though it has changed. I wonder what secret is hiding. Would you like to know? Bring me 5 vials of magic essence, and I will revive this object, and with it, its story. I hope the magic essence isn't something that you usually sell. The elf looks at you with unusual impatience. Shall we? I present the stone knife. Tell me about his previous honor. The storyteller touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face contorts into an evil grimace, his voice distinguishingly raspy. No. It's once again the demon. Let's skip that one, we had it. So we present radiance. What do you see in this? The storyteller touches the blade with its finger. Sadness arises in his voice. Dresden is doomed. Demon attacked right when we lost the protection of the Sword of Valor. My city, my bastion of my hope. We built you as a symbol that the lands mutilated by the Abyss could still be restored to mortals. Now, you're perishing. There's nothing I can do. You retreat. No, we flee. A frightened crowd rushes out into the night through the southern gate. They are chased by the angry howls of demons killing the last defenders of the citadel. My heart goes out to them, but I'm still standing on the wall. I'm covering the retreat. Oh boy. Demons do not attack. They seethe around you, fall from the sky, strike from all sides at once. They can't be stopped, but they can be distracted. I run to the upper floor of the gate tower. Radiance glows with a golden light in my hands. I permit myself to close my eyes for just one heartbeat. I imagine that the soft glimmering of the sword I see through my closed eyelids is the light of the summer sun. I smile. I open my eyes and call out, "Hey Deskari, Darkspawn! Hey Deskari Spawn!" Not Darkspawn. Who wants to be the trophy of the night? You know my name, Yaniel. You know how many of you I've killed with this very hand. You want to carry favor with Darazend, Minago, or the echo of your lord? Bring them my head, if you can. Roaring and screaming, they rush toward me, in a wave of deformed bodies and unfurled wings. The wave crashes against me, spattering my armor with bloody breath. Broken wings and chopped up bodies plummet to the floor of the tower. In the heat of a battle, I see Joran's pale face down there. He looks up at me in desperation, but he can't help. He's carrying 2 wounded on his shoulders. My city will fall, but my friends will survive. This is what I'm fighting for. I am covering the retreat. The flow of fleeing people gradually dwindles. My armor is broken in many places, and I cannot heal my wounds anymore. The last demon I step with radiance suddenly recoils, tearing the handle out of my blood-slickened hand. It flies up, but falls somewhere far behind the walls, by the road being taken by those fleeing. No more golden glow in my hand. The night closes in on me, filled with shrieking, mocking demon laughter. Dresden, I'm dying with you. Light of the sword, righteous iomedae, accept my soul. The storyteller runs his hand along the blade with a sad smile. I know whose memory this is. I've heard about her so many times. Yaniel was a true crusader. Touching her memories, so cleansing. Do you see the future of the sword? Just one of numerous possibilities. The blind elf touches the sword hilt and metal rings in his voice. I slide out of the sheath swiftly. I proudly watch the army of warriors led by my lord. I sing, slashing the air, putting courage in their hearts. I am radiance. Tremble, city of Dresden. My lady Yaniel has perished, but I am not done yet. Charge! The storyteller returns the sword to you. It is nice to know that the sword glory days are not over. It has many battles ahead. Take care of it. It is a glorious sword. We don't have the materials to restore the broken buckle. Last but not least, we show Tyrannel of scale for the storyteller. Tell me about Tyrannel. The storyteller takes a deep breath and smiles. I am flying. I can finally spread my wings. I'm gliding over a broad river. The sunset has turned its surface smooth like a mirror, and I see my reflection. It is as another silver dragon is rising to meet me from the depths. But what is it? The scales on my chest are black, and the darkness is spreading over my body. I wake up. A clear sky sways above me, blazing with heat. I am in human form. The red dust of the wound clings to my cracked lips. Someone is carrying me on a stretcher made of shields and spears. I am so weak, I can barely lift my hand to my face. The sight of my own hand terrifies me. It is black and the skin glistens like scales melted by fire. I probably ought to cry, but I only feel hatred and nausea. All these people around me, all out of sympathy. For them did I choose to leave the mountains. I gave up my flights over rivers. I went to the demon's lair. They don't have a scratch on them, but I am infected with foulness. It's not fair. My life is more precious than their pathetic existence. Ah, how I hate them in this moment. That doesn't sound like Tyrannolov we met. And then I suddenly feel shame. No, no. These are not my thoughts. The Crusaders carrying me are my good friends. I'm glad they did not suffer. But I hate them and myself so much. Pain and hatred pierce me all at once. It's all because of them, all because of them. Something walking beside me touches me, talks to me, but the only thing I hear is, "Your mentor, he will come, he will help." And I lose consciousness. The storyteller takes a deep breath, exiting the vision. Such hatred from Tyrannolov? Wasn't she on our side? Tyrannolov has come a long way. The unit was ambushed by demons once, and she was infected with foulness. The Tyrannolov you met in Kenabres had gone through many trials and regained her former purity. What happened next? The storyteller puts his hand to his forehead. Sometimes the past can be as vague as the fortune. We all know Tyrannolov's story ended, but the beginning is hidden from us. Maybe if you find something else that used to belong to her, you will know more about her struggle. However, no matter what we learn, remember, her soul, the soul of a true dragon, overcame every obstacle, endured every torment. She was able to purify herself. For dragons are truly powerful, not only in body, but in spirit too. Thank you for telling me. Return with new stories. I will be waiting. Can I help you anyhow? The storyteller nods gracefully. I appreciate your offer. I've reason to believe that somewhere in Kenabres there's a manuscript authored by an elf from Kionin who witnessed Earthfall. The storyteller's voice suddenly breaks and he stops for a moment. For personal reasons I would like to examine. But no matter how hard I try, I fail to find it. Even in the Blackmoon library I only found a mention that the manuscript exists in a cell somewhere in the city. I hope we didn't already found it and didn't take it. I assume it's stored at the Grey Garrison. They wouldn't let me into their archives when I visited. All those Crusaders were nervous about the strange blind elf interested in their secrets. It's understandable. The Crusade naturally made them a little paranoid. But now the Grey Garrison has fallen into the enemy's hands. I would be grateful if I could see the manuscript. I think the first one, because it says reminds me, will just give answers we already had, but have a look. Yeah. I want to know more about you. The old elf permits himself a faint smile. I'm not surprised. A strange, peculiar-looking elf with unusual powers, who comes from afar and calls himself a collector of stories. Such things usually spark some interest. I will answer your questions. Who are you and where are you from? Before, I would have said that I was a blacksmith from Kionin, who lost his sight and then found his true calling in a new craft, that of a story collector. But I've lately begun to suspect that those words are no more than a lie. The old elf chuckles sadly. It's quite the irony. I never thought I'd have cause to complain about my memory. It holds the story of the entire world, but I've noticed even more and more alarming signs recently. I encounter ancient stories and see myself in them. I don't remember those events, but stories cannot lie. So it means that my memory is lying, and I intend to get to the bottom of it. I'm looking for proof that my visions are true, and for the reason why my past has been hidden from me. No offense, but you look ancient. I thought elves didn't get that old. The blind man straightens his bony back with dignity. As you can see, we do if we manage to live for many thousands of years. There may not be a single mortal in this world older than me. The storyteller sighs and continues with a smart smile. Anyway, it's not about time, it's about the stories I keep inside. There's so much suffering and sadness in this world. And in my stories too. I've lived every one of them. I've drunk this bitter experience and accepted it in my heart. It's hard. The weight of all this suffering on my shoulders. But I wouldn't trade it for any other. Where exactly did you get your strange powers? The storyteller shrugs. I've always got along well with things. I used to be a blacksmith, that I know for sure. I've always felt the essence of things, the spirit. For as long as I remember, I've always been able to feel the traces of memories and feelings left on things by the former owners. I don't know where this gift came from. Maybe, having taken my side, the gods granted me another sense. How exactly do you see into the future? I cannot say. Such visions are new to me. My instinct has always worked toward the past, not the future. But something's changed. Everything changes. So do I. Perhaps right now, the stories that are yet to happen are the most important ones. I asked that... How exactly do you collect stories? The same way a court philanderer collects his conquests. The way a healer has a personal cemetery of patients he failed to save. The way every person, including you, has a box of secrets, most precious experiences deep down in their soul, that no one is allowed to touch. The world is not made of things, or matter even. It's made of stories. They move from the past to the future, piercing our world at the point of here and now. They give meaning to everything. They are the meaning, and everything else is the only setting required for stories to exist. There's nothing more real and alive than a story. Anything real and alive can die or be destroyed, distorted, forgotten. But as long as I carry these stories with me, they will not be lost. This is why I don't often share my stories. By sharing one with you, I give you the right to tell it to others, to distort and embellish it advertently or inadvertently. Can I be sure you will keep its original purity? Stories travel from one person to another, they change, become distorted, turn into tall tales. This is why I keep my stories to myself. I don't think Logan would agree with that. He would be a horrible bard if he would. I have no more questions. Thank you a lot. That's what you think. In fact, the world is full of amazing things and you still have a lot of questions. They just haven't bubbled up to the surface of your consciousness yet. I actually have a few more questions about our encounter in the Blackwing library. Of course. I make no secret of why I came to the library. I was looking for something. Yeah, we know that. What were you looking for? I was looking for a very old thing. Rumor has it some ancient scroll or a book page about the times of Earthfall is held in Kenabres. What is Earthfall? Earthfall is the name given to the cataclysmic event in which a shower of meteorites impacted Golarion in 5293. It resulted in the destruction of the human empires of Thessalion and Asland, which were consumed by earthquakes and massive tidal waves, and the creation of the Inner Sea. The cloud of dust thrown up by Earthfall's impact settled in Golarion's upper atmosphere and bloated out the sun for 1,000 years, creating the Age of Darkness. So that's a long, long time ago. Did you find what you were looking for? The storyteller shakes his head gloomily. Alas, no, but I found proof that the book I'm looking for is in Kenabres. At least, a part of it is. Alright, I see. I will try to look for it. Thank again for your help. I have to go. I wish you interesting adventures. Alright, lots of stories told. I think that's it. We can do the tavern for the time being. Just have a very short look into that. Yeah, we could discuss the Grey Garrison attack plan of Irobuff. But I want to do the common cause first, because I don't think we can still recruit allies if we do our plan of action. And the thiefling stuff and everything. Let's have a look if we already have magic essence. Ah, nice. So it doesn't automatically sell that. That's good.
We'll win this, one way or the other.
Right, let's do a rest. Try to get away our corruption and, yeah, our wounds. I'd never seen raging fires before Kenabres. I never thought flames could reach that high. The creature from the caves is learning about the world. How charming. What other things have you encountered for the first time here? Soap, perhaps? Oh, Camellia. Such charm.
Can't make the demons wait.
Right. Blackness. Kenabres, now the void. Thankfully, no. Yeah, we'll stick with that composition. Missing the healing a bit, but beside that I really like it.